Okay.
Yeah, I've started recording. Thanks.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to start. I believe everyone has joined. I was informed like more people will join, so I was waiting for it. So today we'll have a 1 hour demo and 1 hour lab. So that is how we will do that. So let's get started. So first thing, demo. And yesterday, last session, we finished the discussion about the Docker. So I could not complete my demo. Let me do the demo. So I got the machine here right now. This is the IP address. I have a already keys. So let me log in. Okay. So guys, can we start? Do you have any questions before me starting further the demo?
No, Rajesh.
Okay, guys. So let's get started. So let me maintain the notes. So this is the notes which I am pushing in the Docker Copart online Copart. Okay, so now let's get started. So first thing I just said, we have to install the Docker engine. In order to understand the Docker ecosystem, you have to understand 4 tools: Docker engine, Docker images, Docker repo, and containers. Right? So in the last session, I did talk about what is a container. Okay, so Docker engine is a platform for running the container, running a container. Now, containers can be run from the images. So here, images is nothing but a kind of, we are going to take the images. There's a 2 kind of repository here. So images is nothing but a kind of applications which you package to run with Docker engine. Okay, for time being, because we are going to have a Docker images a detailed discussion. For time being, I'm just putting this definition. Okay, Docker repo. So here again, Docker repo is a place from where you can get the images. Okay, so this is the one. Now, container, last one, a running state of the images is being called a container. Okay, so now we have understood these 4 component we need to learn. These 4 component we need to learn. We need to learn Docker engine. We need to learn Docker images, Docker repo, Docker container. So all these things we need to understand in detail. Okay, so now first thing we are going to install the Docker engine. So I have got the platform here. I'm going to install the Docker engine. So what I'll do, I'll go to devoschools.com/tutorials/docker, and here we have installation instructions which I'm going to follow. I'm going to put it in the notes also. So this is the way we are going to install the Docker engine. Now let me do that quickly. Let me get the Docker engine installed. Here again, yum install Docker engine is getting installed. Yes. Yes, one more time. Here it is. Now Docker engine installed. Now next thing you have to enable. So that's a command. And then we have to start the services. And now Docker engine is running. So now first command which you're going to do after the installation is first command. You type docker info. Okay, so now let's type docker info. Look at this. What you have here, you have a container 0, paused 0, running 0, stop 0. So this is the containers which we will talk again in detail later, but let's get started. Images we don't have, we have 0. This is the server version 1705 CE. CE means stand for the community. So basically Docker engine, there is a two kind of release we do that. Docker, we have a two kind of release. So Docker, let me put it here, Docker releases. So basically they do two kind of releases. One is a community version, which is free. Okay, community edition we call it. Okay, and another enterprise edition, enterprise, which is paid. Okay, so I'm going to do the training on the first community edition. Later on we will migrate to enterprise edition. So this is the CE community edition. This is the storage driver overlay, file system, XFX, C groups. I talked about the C groups in the last session, if you remember. Volumes local, and these are the information about the operating system, architecture, CPU, RAM, and blah, blah things. So this is the first command which you have to run. So now, after that, there's a most important command which you need to recollect, docker health. Okay, so this command will give you all the possible commands which you have here right now. So look at this commands, and it start from here until here. So now you have so many commands which you have to get used to it. You have to practice it. You have to see the demo, and then you have to learn. And I'm going to teach you some of the commands today also. Okay, so these are the two things. So now we have understood. Okay, this is where we really install the Docker engine. So now we have also understood that the community and enterprise edition. We also understand two commands. So now what are you going to do? I said in the last session, if you remember, recall, it's all about application. So the question is, which application you want to run? You want to run. You have to understand the importance of that line right now. Docker, we do not talk about, okay, setting up the operating system, giving this much of RAM, CPU, storage, you know, setting up the networking, all these things, blah, blah, blah. We only talk about the application, which application you want to run. So let's decide some of the applications. So for time being, I'll take the application which is a Java based application, which is Jenkins. Okay, Java based. Now this is the application which I want to run. Now the question is, how and from where I get the Jenkins image? Answer is hub.docker.com. Okay, so here, what is this hub.docker.com? This is a repository. So there is a two kind of repository which you have. One is a public repository, which we have hub.docker.com. We do have a private or let's say proprietary repository. Proprietary repository is store.docker.com. Okay, and we can set up a private repository also, our own private repository using the Nexus Artifactory or like that. Okay, so we can do that also, and I'll show you how can you set it up. But for time being, what we are doing, we are using the public repository. Okay, so from where I get the Jenkins image, yes, I will go to the hub.docker.com. Let's go. Here, and which is the image name? Jenkins, right? We decided we'll go for the Jenkins. Let's look at this here, Jenkins. I just search it. Okay, I did the wrong search. Jenkins, spelling mistake. Here it is. Now you can see that here so many results has come if you type Jenkins. So one of the results where you can see this is a official image, and other kind of also you can see public image. So official image, official repository is nothing but the repository which has been maintained by the tool developer itself, developer company itself. So let's say there's a tool which is called Jenkins, and Jenkins.io, which manages the Jenkins project. They manage this official repository. So you can blindly trust this image basically. You can see also, you can decide whether the image is good or not by looking the stars, number of pull operations, stuff like that. Public images is been uploaded by the people like you and me who wants to learn the Docker. They want to create images, store some of the images for their reference. So that is also possible. So public images been created by the people like you and me. So now of course I'm going to use the official image. Okay, so I just click on it. Here it says if you want to get this image, you have to run this command. So before that, running this command, I will ask my one question: how to see the number of images? Okay, so the command answer is Docker images. So this is the answer. This is the command which will tell you how many images you have it. Now if I see that I don't have many images. Now the next question, where the images is getting stored, where the images it getting stored. So this question answer will vary, depends on the platform. For RHEL, the one which I'm using, this is storing in the var lib docker. This is the location inside the image, and here inside the overlay, and here you can get the image dv. Okay, and this is the place where you get the images, layer dv and all stuff like that. So let me tell you, this is not a one file you get it. The moment you get the images, you will get the multiple files. Okay, so now if you see that view-sh image, and now size is 4 KB. After the downloading the image, we'll check the size again. Okay, so this is the things which you do that. So now where do you store the images? The answer is var lib docker. Okay, this is the place. So now how to download the images? How to download the images from the public repository? Download the images, and then answer is docker pull, and Jenkins is the image name which you want to download. So let me do that. Docker pull Jenkins. Let's look at this here. Now it's downloading layers. Look at this. Now the question is like, okay, what is layers? What is this? Okay, why it is getting pulled out? Why it's not one file? So these are the questions I will answer slowly, one by one. Okay, because it's a large topic. We have to go a little bit slow so your understanding can be strong. That is important. Okay. Okay, so now Docker pull Jenkins, I just did it, and it's downloading many layers actually. And now you can see view-sh. Let me do that. Image, Now you see that 2.2 MB from the 4 KB it become a 2.2 MB. It got some file in the containers also. In some files here you got it overlay. Okay. See 843 MB it got. So basically the main files got uploaded under the overlay. So if you go to the overlay here, see these are the layers which got uploaded. You must be seeing that pulling all this thing. So this is nothing but this is the layers. So this number is a short form of this 40 character hash value. So yes, I'm not going to complicate your mind right now, but simple thing is how to download the images. Docker pull is a command, it will download. Now you see that this image I have downloaded, Jenkins. The tag is latest. Image ID is this one, and it was created image 2 days back, and I downloaded the size of this is 798 MB. So now I got this image, Jenkins image. So this is the first step. So right now what I did, I installed the Docker engine. I finalized the Docker image. I downloaded from the hub.docker.com. Now the last point which is missing, containers. So what is a container? So I just said last time, container is nothing but a kind of isolated user space which has been empowered with their own process map, own network, own storage, own mounts, own process capabilities and stuff like that with the help of the Docker engine. But now I just said I'm changing the definition again. Containers is nothing but a running state of the image is being called a containers. So simple, when containers get created, when I run it. So the question is how to get container, and answer is Docker run command will create a containers. Now Jenkins is the image name. So here Docker run will create a containers and Jenkins is the image you need to run it. Okay, but this command will create a container. It will run the container, but you will have to provide some additional parameter. The reason is simple. Jenkins is a web-based tool. Is a web-based tool. Okay. Now it has a two part: Jenkins server, Jenkins node. Jenkins server, which is having a web port, which is configured at 8080, and node port always most of the time is getting configured at 50,000. So now the question is, how can I run Jenkins image? So the answer is you should ask the image developer. So let's say if you have developed that image, you should ask to yourself. If you have developed that image by someone else, then you should ask to that person. So if I get downloaded the image from here, the best way to get it from that, how to use this image. Okay, but there's a other way around also where using that you can find it out how to run that particular image, but it's easily available. So let's get into that. Now here it says if you want to use this image, you have to run this command. Docker run is the same command, but here you have to provide the port mapping for this server and node and the Jenkins name. So now you must be wondering, what is this? What is this? What is this? Why we have a two port mapping? Why it's needed? So basically we need to understand the architecture of Jenkins first before that talking about anything else. So let's understand. MS Paint. Here, this is the host machine where I'm running the Docker engine here. This is the Docker engine. Now inside that, I am running the container. Inside that container, Jenkins is running. Here also I'm running another container. Here also Jenkins is running. Let me tell you, internally inside the container is running web port on 8080 and 50,000. Inside the container is running on 8080 again There is no conflict because it's running inside, and 50,000. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm very bad in drawing. Okay, so inside the container is running on 8080 port and 50,000. So why do I need to specify 2 port? So this is the way, -p is a way in which you can map the port, you can expose the port basically. Why do we need the exposing the port? Because I am located outside of the VM, I'm not inside the VM. So how can I access? Through browser. I will access this machine through the browser. I cannot access this container because it's inside the host, so I cannot access it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to port forward to the host machine. So here I will map this one with 8080, and another container I'll map with the 8090. So that way it's mapped to the host machine, and then I can access it easily. So that is the reason here we have a 2 ports, just because of we should access the Jenkins. First one is external and second one is internal. The internal is inside the container, and external which you can be exposed to the host, and basically you can access the host. Okay, so now you understand why do we have to provide this 2 times same port. Is that clear?
Yes, Rajesh.
Good. So now I'm going to run this container 2 times. So but I'm not going to run it just now. I'm going to add one more option which is called -d. Why I'm running -d option? The reason behind this, the moment I run this command without -d, then I will lose the console. So basically the logs will be capturing on the console. So that way I have to go into the new sessions and all and start it. You want to see that? Let me run it without that. So I'm running without -d option. EC2-user sudo -s. Okay, now I'm running without -d option. And look at this, I lost the console and I cannot type any more command. So what has happened? You should run it without with -d. So now I have to go to the different session, login, EC2-user cd-sudo-s, and now the question is how to check running containers. How to check the running containers. So now answer is Docker PS. So I run one containers, remember, and I go to the console, Docker PS. Now it says it's one container is running. You can see that container ID is this one, image is this one, command which is running is here. When it got created 53 seconds ago, the name has been some port mapping is there, name of the container. So this is the one container which got created. Now I cannot run the same command again because 80 ports will be used only once. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run more command, but this time with -d. That way I don't lose the console. And already I'm running one web port with 8080. This time I'll make it with 89. And here, one. Okay. So I'm changing the external port mapping, and here copy the screen, command. Another container got created, Docker PS. Now I've got the 2 containers created. One is running on 8080. Actually, both are running on 8080, but internally. From the outside, I have exposed one to 8080, another to 8090, which you can see that here. Okay. So now we got the 2 containers. Now the question is how to access it. So you need to have an IP address. So let's get IP address. Okay, now click here 80. This is the one application which you got it up and running, and second application is 8090. Here it is. Now we got this application running. So now all together we got the two machines, two containers running. Any questions so far? Any doubts so far? Any
No,
doubt?
Rajesh.
Okay, good. So now if I want to continue this with this application, I have to get inside this place. I have to go inside this place, and there's one password lying at this place, so I should get it. But the question is how to get inside the container. This file, it should be inside the containers, not in the host machine. Let's go and check. Here, ls. See, this file is not there. So what to do? You have to go inside the container. The question is how to get inside a container. The answer is docker exec and docker attach. This is the two command. Using that you can go inside the container and you can work with it. Now, which one is recommended, which one you should try, what is the difference between exec and attach, we will have to understand it. But for time being, let's use this exec. In order to get into the container, what you have to type docker exec, and you want to interact with the container because you want to get the password of the file password. So interactive you have to make it, so IT. Now what container you want to go? So container ID is this one, which is 8090. So container ID, and inside the container what you want to do? Inside the container I want to do the bin bash. So this is the way you can go inside the container and go to the console, which is called bin bash console, on the interactive mode. So let's do that. So I am running this command here, docker exec -it bin bash. Clear the screen, run it. Look at this. Earlier I was at the root at the rate of this one. I got inside the container Jenkins at the rate of this one. So where is the Jenkins user? This is the container ID. Okay, so this container is running with the Jenkins. Why it is running with the Jenkins, we'll discuss later. But for time being, what I wanted to get the password, which is located at this file, to unlock the Jenkins. So now I do more. Here it is, and I got this password container. Okay, so here I got the password which is of 8090, but by mistake I'm inserting an 8080, so which is not good. So let me insert in the 8090. And now I have got the Jenkins up and running. What we have learned so far, how to get inside the container. Exec command is very powerful. You can run exec command without getting inside the container. So now let me tell you some more things before we proceed further. How to come out, not exit, how to come out of the container without exiting. Okay, how to come out of the container without exiting, how that is possible. So the answer is Control P Q. Okay, so if you want to come out of the container, see I am inside the container, I want to come out of the container, Control P Q, and I got out of it. So just remember, this command is very helpful. Now, what I'm having? So I'm having how many containers running? Look at this, Docker PS. I'm having 2 containers running. Okay, so Docker PS command, I think I did talk about it here. Okay, and then I did talk about how to run the container in detach mode, how to run a container in detached mode, and then how to get inside the container using exec. Now, exec is a very powerful command. So Docker exec is very powerful command.
Rajesh, I have a question.
Tell me. Yeah, what is the question?
Raj, why don't you want to exit?
What is said? Why don't you?
But you said without exit, right? Control PQ. So we can just say exit or Control D, right? Like to exit of the container.
So there's a reason for it. I said how to come out of the container without exiting. In this case, I can type exit and containers will not exit and come out of it. But when you are running some of the bash services, when you do the exit, it will exit the container also. So safely, if you want to come out of it, this is
okay. So that's the question actually. Why you don't want to exit? So if you exit, the container is going to stop.
Okay. So can I answer this question a little bit later, because I want to explain it to you what exactly the container is all about. So I'm just So for time being, exit, why you are not using exit and why you should use Control PQ. For time being, I would say how to come out of the container without exiting safely. Just try this command. Okay. Now, with saying that, even if I do exit in case of Jenkins image, it will not exit. Okay. It will come out of the container, but the container will not get killed. Okay. But there is a reason behind that. I need to explain that in detail. So I'll do that. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So for time being, stick with the Control PQ rather than exit or Control D.
Okay.
Okay. So now I have 2 containers running. One is a 5 minutes it's been, and another is a 7 minutes. So now I was talking about Docker exec is a very powerful command. So you see here I did interactive way. That's the reason I got inside the container and on the prompt. But you can be outside of the container also and run any command. So for example, there is a container which is here and I'm running Docker exec, no interactive way, and I just run ls. Look at this. ls means it will display the list of files inside the container. Let me remind you, this is inside the container, okay, not the base machine. This is the output inside the container. If you want to see df-kh of the particular container, see, this is the inside the container. You want to know the host machine, this is the host machine. Look at this. Okay, this is the host machine. So here if you look at this, this is the inside the container, this is the host machine. So what I'm trying to tell you, clear the screen, exec is very powerful command. You can run any commands against that, against that container. So like df-kh, you can run ds-ef, you can run pop, anything. You can run all this command, basically any commands which is supported in Linux, or script also. You can run the script like this also. Let's say this script is there in the OPT, and here script.sh you can run. Okay, you can run anything using the exec. So exec is a very powerful command. Okay, using exec, you can run script or command inside the container. Okay, so very powerful command. Okay, now you can visualize what you can do with Excel. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions so far?
We are good.
Okay, good. So now what we did today now, so I installed the Docker engine using following this instruction, and then we discussed about the Docker images. We decided we will go with the Jenkins image. Then from where we're going to download that image, we are going to get it from the hub.docker.com. That's a public repository where we get the free images. Now, how to get the container? So running state of the image is being called as a container. These are the first two commands we ran after the installation. There's a two kind of releases which you have: community edition, enterprise edition. We are trying community edition now. The application which is we are trying right now, which is images, is Jenkins, which is Java based. And from where you're going to download hub.docker.com. To check the number of images in your host machine, this is the command docker images. To where it's getting stored in the var leave docker different directory structure in the different format. How to download images? Docker pull Jenkins. How to get the container? This the moment you run the image, it become a container. But for Jenkins, it required some additional parameter which is called port mapping, so you can access the Jenkins. These were the actions which I was needed. And after that, how to check the containers, which is running containers or not. How to run the container in detached mode, so you should not lose the console. How to get inside the container using exec, using interactive mode. That's the one thing. And then how to come out of the container without exiting or without killing the containers. After that, also we try some of the powerful feature of exec. So now let's move on. So what next? Now I'm going to talk about how can you see, how can you see the number of processes is running inside the container. How can you see that? The command is very simple: docker top cont id. Okay, cont id means this is the one. So docker ps will display the number of containers 1 and 2. Now I want to see how many processes running inside this container. First one. Now you see that these are the containers which is running. Here you have Bintini, jar, and some bin bash. 3 session is active. You can see that, and timing also has been shown, which is the user which using that you got logged in. So that everything is being shown here. So now this is the way you can see the number of process. Now, if I'm having 2 containers running, suddenly I decided in order to save some CPU and RAM, so I can utilize at a different place, I should stop the non-used container, which I'm not using it. Let's say I'm not using the 8090. Which one I am using? 8090 I'm using, 8080 I'm not using. So let's stop this container. So how can you stop the container? Docker ps container ID. Now, sorry, docker stop container ID. Docker stop container ID. Now you see that container, this one 83 blah 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 got stopped. Now see that docker ps, you have only one container ID. So where that container has gone? So question is how to see all the containers including running, created, and exit container. How can you see that? exited. So the answer is Docker ps-a. A stands for all. Okay. Now, if you see that here, Docker ps-a, right now we have one container which is exited and another container which is running. There is no container which is got created. We'll do that now. Okay. So now how to get the container created? Let's understand. I'm running the same ID Docker run Jenkins without the parameter of -p web port and node port. So now you see that it run. I lost the console. I should have done it. EC2 -user sudo -s docker ps. I've got the two containers right now, and another container is in exit state here. So now I got the two container, another in exit state. So now what I'm going to do, I am going to how to get a container created. How to get a container created. There's a command for that, but I'm going to use the simplest formula. Remember, I'm already using 8080 port already. Look at this here, 8080 port. Here I'm using 8090 port. So basically here 80 port is internal here. So here this container I will not be able to access it. Why? Because it did not get exposed. But this container I will access because I got mapped the port forwarding. So 8080 port is already being used. So I will run the container again using the same port. Look at this. So I just copy this command. Remember 8090 port is already used. See, it says bind for this failed port already allocated. But what has happened? Look at this. Docker ps-a. There is one container got created 11 seconds ago from this command. So this command created another container, but it did not run it. Why? Because the port mapping was wrong. Port allocation was wrong. So here we got the running container, created container, exited container. So running container is like in a running state, which is this. Created container only got created, but it never run. That's the reason it says created. And exited container is like it created a container, run the container, and then exit the container. So this is the difference between this. So did you understand this? What is a created, running, and exit?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay, good. So now
we can't access that created container, right?
what is that?
We can't access that created container, right? Because it's not running on
you cannot. Yeah, you cannot access the created container. You have to run it in order to access it.
Got it. Okay, got it.
Okay. So now how to get create? So now what I actually wanted to do, I wanted to stop the container. Why? So how many containers I'm having? See, I'm having two containers in running state. So the question is how to stop the container. Answer is Docker stop and const id. So this is the way you will stop the container. So Docker stop const id, this one and this one. You can do together also. That's not a problem. Now you have container none. Now how many containers you have in exit state? You can see ps-a here. So all together we got the three containers running, exited. That means it ran and one container created. So you can start this container which got exited. So let's start it. Docker start. Last time I had stopped it. This time I'm starting all together. You can do one also. I'm doing multiple, so I don't have to run 3 times. And now Docker PS, see all 3 containers got started. Here I can access this container, I can access this container, but I cannot access this container because I did not do the port mapping. Okay, so this is the way you can start the container, you can stop the container. Is that clear? Any questions, any doubts?
I'm good, Rajesh.
Okay, good. So now here you can see that Docker start and punt ID. Now I want to check logs of the containers. I said top is the command which will give you the process which is running inside the container. Now I want to check which is the logs, what is happening inside the container. How can I check? So the question is how to check the container log, container process logs. Answer is Docker logs and punt ID. So this is the command which I will run it. So now what I'm doing right now, Docker logs punt ID, I need to get it. And this is the punt ID. And here. Now see that this is the logs. Now this is the way you can see the logs. Okay, now one important things is I want to bring into your notice is Docker. If I do Docker ps-a, you can look at this name of the container, which is the last column, which is the name of the container. See, this is the last column. This UI is not coming properly on the console, but the name table, name columns has this one, this one, this one, and this one. So this is not making any sense, you know. The container is not making any sense. So how come we are getting these container names? So this is a random generated by the Docker engine configuration. Okay, so if you don't like that name which is generated by default, okay, so if you have, you can name it. So when you can name it, you can name it during the creation of the container only. So for example, I'm going to create one container. Before that, I should down few containers. Why? Because I have only 4 GB of RAM, and so I will just down 2 containers. You can see that I just stopped the 2 container. I have only 1 container right now, so I'm creating one more container here. So how can I create a container using this image? How to name a container? Okay, answer is Docker run -p, and here only you can give -name is equal to name of the container, what you want to give it. Name is equal to, let's say Jenkins 1. Okay, Jenkins 1. Okay, so this is a way you can create a name of it. So now let's give it this command. Container got created. Docker ps, see that here the names, here Jenkins 1 and Compassionate 1. So this name I liked it because I have given it. This name was generated by the Docker previously, 26 minutes ago. So what to do now? Can we change this name also? Yes, that is possible. So here question is, how can I rename? How can I rename a container? And the answer is Docker rename punt ID. So, and the name, new name. Okay. So here I want to rename Docker rename, and punt ID is this one. And what is the new name I want to give it? New name I want to give it Jenkins 2. And now Docker ps, see that Jenkins 1, Jenkins 2. So this is the way you can run it. Any questions so far?
So Raj, you changed the compassionate container's name, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so now let's little bit recap. I talk about what is the power of exec. We tried, you can see that. Also, I talked about how to see the process, running process of the container. Also, we talk about what are the stages of the container. So containers get created, it run, it got exited, it can deleted, all this stuff. We talk about how to see the number of containers which got created, running, exited at once. We also talk about how to create a created container. We also talk about how to stop the containers. We also talk about how to start the containers. And then we also talk about how to check the process of the running containers, logs of the running containers. And then we talk about it, how to name the container. And then we also talk about it, how to rename the containers. Is that good? Any questions so far?
I'm good, Raj. Thanks.
Okay. So now I am going to give you the last command for the today. How can I describe the container? This is a very powerful command. It has many things, and the command is container. So let's work on this. Clear. Docker inspect cont ID is this one here. Now I have described the cont ID, particular container. You can see that such a large information. It ID, created, path, argument, state, images, so many host variables, network, port forwarding, port binding, all these environments and all kind of things, CPU, graphics, and all these things, memory setups. You can see the graphics driver. You can see that some of the other information related to mounts. You can see configuration related information. You can see the environment things which are inside the containers. You can also see working directory, network related information, and all this stuff. So you can find a lot of information. So inspect is the command which you should look at very carefully. Each line you should look at, and you should try to find out that you should try to visualize that what exactly you have in the inspect output. Because inspect command, all the questions whatever you get it, I'm going to answer in the upcoming session. Okay, but you should get the question first. Okay, like what is a driver, what is a CPU, what is a RAM, what is a layers, what is a image DB, what is a network, what is environment, what is a path setup, what is a mounts, what is a volumes. All these things you have to describe in the upcoming session. So you have to look at each line of it and try to get an idea about this. Okay, so far we have covered almost 20 commands. What I want now, I will go into the lab session now. So you can also do the lab, and if you get stuck, if you get any issues, I should help you. So what we are going to do, we are going to install the container. We are going to download the images. We are going to run the images, and then all these commands which I have talked about it. Okay, any questions you have?
No, Rajesh.
So I'm going to date this one 2018. That way you know which day what I'm covering. So here it is. And this notes will be pushed to the webofschools.com. I'm pushing it. I will just share the notes with you, the URL, so you can access it. Docker. I've uploaded the notes. So note location is always for the Docker session is this one. I have just put it in the chat window. Everyone should get it. Okay. Now, can you please start doing the lab? Any issues? Please budge me and I'll fix it that for you. Let's get started. Do let me know if you're stuck. I can share, you can share your desk. I can troubleshoot and see that and fix that for you.
Rajesh, I have a doubt actually.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, when you just logged into the container, you were with the ID Jenkins. So why is it actually depends on the image or
No,
what
no.
exactly?
It depends on the images. Actually, what has happened? The image developer has designed an image in which the Jenkins should be running as a Jenkins user only. So that image is designed accordingly. So I will teach you how can you develop the such images.
Okay, so that container doesn't have any root in it.
Containers needs root, okay. Docker needs root, but inside the container, the service of Jenkins is running as a Jenkins user. So running the container, you require the root access or the part of the Docker group. But right now, application inside the container is running as a Jenkins user. That is possible.
So if I need to make some changes to that container without going to the new image, can I make some changes? Getting like some packages, m update, something like
Yes,
that.
very well you can do that. That's what I said. I will teach you how to create images, and in that process I will explain you how all this thing works. So right now what we are doing, we are consuming the containers and images which was developed in the public forum. Next topic would be like how to create images. So soon we'll do that. So one by one, step by step. So I don't want to tell everything so you get confused or everyone get confused.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to check each one of you whether you guys are doing the lab or not, because it's compulsory. Lab is compulsory. Okay. What is your question? What is the question? Any challenges you are facing?
Rajesh, you want to try us all these commands, right?
Yes. So I want you to try, and same time, if you're facing any issues, you have to tell me.
Sure, sure, yeah.
Let's. I just wanted to know all the participants is at one place or multiple place or something.
We are different locations, Rajesh.
Because I'm not able to keep track of anyone what these guys are doing until you ask me a question.
Oh, okay. Got it. So yeah, we have a few folks from Hyderabad and few people from US.
Okay, cool.
And I don't see him now. We have another participant from Germany, but I'm not sure. I'll talk to him tomorrow if he's going to be coming from tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah.
Guys on the call, how are you guys doing this practice session? Are you guys do you guys have some sandboxes? Are you doing on your local machines? How are you guys doing? Hey Lee, are you on the call?
Hi.
Okay.
I have a Docker for Windows. So
Okay, you're doing on the
um,
Windows machine. Okay,
yeah. So
sure.
I have that before.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm downloading the Docker image now.
okay, cool. Sana, how are you doing this?
Yeah, Venkat, I was having CentOS 6 on VMware, but that was having kernel
Cool.
less than 3.1. So I'm trying to install CentOS 7 and it's taking time right now.
Okay, okay.
Lizang, I think you are trying for the Docker for Windows. So let me tell you, if you are trying for the Docker for Windows, there's a two hypervisor for that. One is like Hyper-V, and one is a VirtualBox. So try to use a VirtualBox, then you'll be able to run all these commands, because we need a Linux VMs or ways to run the Jenkins image. Okay, because Jenkins
Okay.
is based on the Linux image.
Okay.
Lee, you know how to download that VirtualBox and install CentOS, right?
Yeah, I have to. Um, I haven't tried before, so
It's
I have
okay.
to.
Once I'm in office, I'll guide you through the steps.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah. Hey Rajesh, can we do this? So people, different, like Sana, Lee, and other people, they have different issues. Let them sort out the issues for today, and by tomorrow they'll be ready, and we can ask them to do this by tomorrow. You can check the sessions by tomorrow morning. How
Yeah,
does it
sure.
work?
One important things like before, because each session is dependent on other session. So I
Sure.
would request everyone to please complete this session, because
Okay,
if you just hear the lecture, it's not going to help you until you do it.
that is correct.
So that's important.
Yes, sure. And also, actually, I was prepared for this. I have a sandbox. I have Docker installed. I have gone through the steps right now,
Yeah,
but I'll ask the guys, other guys on the call, to complete this by at any cost by tomorrow morning before the session.
sure. Yeah, that
Okay,
will be great.
sure,
Yeah.
nice. And are we going to end this today, Rajesh? Or are you going to continue for the next 10 minutes?
Anyone has a question for me? If I can answer any questions?
Srinivas, Lee, Sana, do you guys have any questions for Rajesh?
Not right now.
Okay, guys on the call, please make sure you complete all these steps by tomorrow morning before you come to the class. Join the class, I mean.
Okay, sure.
Rajesh, can you show us how to use the Docker attach command?
Docker?
Attach.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear. How to use Docker image?
Attach command.
Okay,
That
Docker
will
attach command. I can
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
you just a second. Yeah. So basically, I did not talk about how to what do you say? How to run the images and what's the difference between the attach and exec. I thought I will tell you later, but let me, as you have asked, let me answer this question. EC2 hyphen user. Okay, so there's a huge difference between attach and exec. But for time being, let's understand. Here I have a clear the screen. Docker ps-a. I'm having, as of now, this container is running. Okay. Now, if I do, let's understand again. Let's see that here. Docker ps. I'm running this container. This is the image. This is the command. Basically, this command which is holding this image, this container. So if I do docker attach and container ID, I get attached to this container, but right now the console which you're getting, that is called Bintini. And Bintini is a tool which is not basically for the interactive purpose. You need a bash for it. So now what I will do, I will just kill this, and I had to kill it because I attached to Bintini, or I had to kill that attach. Now you see that here I have another container which is running, this one. So what I do now, normally what I'll do, docker exec -it and then container ID and bin bash. So now this is the way you can get interactive, which I talked about it. But now why I'm not able to do attach to this container? Because the process which is running is Bintini, and the moment I run, it will get into the Bintini. So for that to avoid, if you want the console, that means like a kind of bash. So what you have to do, docker run Ubuntu. So let me download the Ubuntu image. Ubuntu application is another image I'm downloading. Ubuntu. Okay. So now I need not a Jenkins because it's running with the Tini. I need Ubuntu which is a bash. Okay. In fact, you can run the Jenkins image with the bash also. But right now, I want to show you something different scenario. So run -it quickly and Ubuntu and here and bin bash. Okay. Now here I am running this container. You see I'm inside the container. Control PQ. Now Docker PS. Now see, this is a container which is running. Now if I do attach, and let's see that bin bash is running. It's interactive, right? So you can interact with the bin bash. So now if I do attach to this container, then I get the console. Now you can write whatever you wanted. Okay, so attach, there's a huge difference between attach and exec. I need to discuss a little bit more about that, but this is the way you can attach to the any container. Docker attach container ID, but you should make sure that the attaching, you should be bin bash so you can interact, else it is just a waste of effort. Is that got it?
Yes, sir. Can we see what Tiny is running when we attach it? As the Tiny shell, we have it. Terminal for Tiny.
So that, yeah,
Is it
what you can do,
Tiny?
yeah, what you can do, simple way, would you, if you want to see that what Tiny is running, so I have already said that command, probably you forgot, but here, Docker top, also I have to come out of it, Docker top and container ID. And here, Tiny is running basically the jenkins.sh file, which is located at this location. Okay. So Tiny is a lightweight utility to run any shell script or any application. That is how it's being used.
Okay, Rajesh. Thank you.
Any other questions?
From me.
Okay, so you can continue the lab. I'll be here only, so I can be here till 9:30, and then if you have any other questions also, I can help you out.
Thanks, Rajesh. This is Venkat. I got to drop off, but I'll be joining tomorrow's class.
Sure, no problem.
I don't have any questions right now. Those steps are done.
Sure. We'll see you tomorrow then.
Yep. Thanks, Rajesh.
Yeah.
Anyone else in the meeting, they want to continue, or we can end the meeting? If anyone is practicing, then we can continue. Else we'll continue tomorrow.
Yeah, we finish it today.
Okay, we'll end the meeting then. Rajesh, we're going to end the meeting and then we'll continue tomorrow.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay, thanks.